All right, good morning, folks. We just set up the audio and video setup for the first time outdoors. Feels pretty good. It looks pretty compact too. I wish I could show you guys, but yeah, we're looking pretty good. If nothing else, being out here at this hour means that you're gonna see people walking their dog and a sunrise. That's it, which is pretty nice, I gotta say. All right. So the plan today is we're gonna warm up. We're gonna do a lot of barefoot work because we're more trying to just reset and make sure that our movements are pretty crisp. We're getting some good ground contact. Oh, there are hella mosquitoes here. I just realized that. I'm probably gonna get cooked up today. It was about time. We're deep into April. No mosquito bites. It's a pretty good year. So yeah. So the idea here is we're gonna go barefoot first. Probably just get a little bit of warm ups and whatnot, and then we're gonna get into one round of ladder. And after that first round of ladder, maybe do a few cone drills and see if I can stop pretty well, like load um, that gather step without really getting those cleats on yet. That's just we'll get into the details here in a second, but we're gonna do a lot more barefoot work than anything. This isn't gonna be like anything that builds like a ton of explosiveness or really a ton of high top end speed. We're not really gonna come out of cut super fast, but other than that, it's gonna be really good work. It'll open up our hips a lot. It'll make sure our feet are firing well, and hopefully it'll get us quite ready for our back day later today. All right, so let's set up, and I'll see you guys in a sec. We're good. A big dog over here too. He's chill. All right, so we'll get into the warm up, do a little bit of stretching in, and then we'll start doing some actual work here. No worries, no worries. Yeah, I'm fine. Yes, sir. I remember your hips move frontly, like front back, and they also move side to side, right? And all of us work the anterior a lot, so just remember when you're warming up, especially when you're outside of the gym, try to get that lateral and get that back, get that posterior movement, because your glutes are not going to learn how to fire, your tibialis aren't going to learn how to fire, and your hips aren't going to learn how to rotate. If all you're doing is squatting and doing the, I don't know, leg extension, whatever people usually do in the gym. You're really just looking to get your heart rate up a little bit, sweating, and then as soon as you start feeling that mind muscle connection, the muscles that you're gonna use that day, it's probably a good spot to stop. You know. Then maybe if you really want to keep warming up, just actually train the pattern that you're gonna be moving. So right now I'm at a pretty good spot. I'm not gonna be opening up my stride a lot today, but just in case I do, and just to make sure that that part of the movement is ready to go, I'm gonna train that outside of the kinetic chain, and then I'll get into the actual workout just at very low intensity, so it's still part of the warm up. But and just in general, Today we're not going at 100 at all, right? We're getting to 80 about. Um, but yeah, so we're just gonna do a couple strides, and I might move the camera just to show you kind of what these strides should look like. It should be pretty defined that you're not sprinting, right? You're not taking off at a full sprint. It's really just showing your legs how to ramp up, and really what you're training when you're doing these strides, or at least what I look for, is you're just looking for the top end of the motion. So like, you're not looking for the acceleration part to be explosive because you're warming up, right? You do these to kind of tell your body that you're about to open up your gait a lot once you get to the top of your stride, right? Like once you get to the top speed, you're gonna have to open up your stride quite a bit, and all you're doing is teaching your body, okay, today we're gonna, first of all, you're telling them today we're gonna do this, but then as you do it more and more, you'll start finding that as you open up that gate, you'll find a really good rhythm that allows you to cycle those I guess pounds on the ground, those steps, a lot better. So I might move it. Actually, I won't, just for today, since it's a test ride. But yeah, a couple strides, and then we'll set up the ladder and we'll get going. All right, it's 45. We're probably gonna do. It's 45 yards. We're probably gonna do. I don't know, two. I think two. It's been a while since I've actually opened up my gate this much. I think. I don't know. Maybe in soccer. All right, let's get it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep y'all here for a little ASMR, I guess. So super slow start. We're not starting hard. Doesn't mean to need to be slow, but it's not gonna be explosive. Then as you go, you start ramping up. I should have gone to 55. If a walk back isn't enough to keep you feeling or get you back here feeling like you're ready to go again, you're either going too hard, or I would consider doing something else and getting your cardio up a little bit more. Just because this should really be part of the warm up. Breathe a little hard, but don't be fucking sore yet, right? And then I'm just gonna show you, like usually I'd tell you guys to switch legs. You just want to keep yourself balanced if you're doing 2 reps, but I know that this side is a lot weaker. My left doesn't drive very well off the ground right there, and my right adductor doesn't transition force very well off my left. So we're gonna work this a lot more, even though we're not putting a lot of force on it. That felt really good. It actually felt weird. I leaned back a little hard, but I haven't opened up my stride like that in a minute. That felt like sprinting, like true 100-meter sprints. That's pretty good. Feel pretty warm. My feet are firing pretty decently. They're kind of cold though, so I can't really feel them, but other than that, I'm sure they're firing. Grabbing everything. And I just told you don't be too tired when you get back from your warm-up. I'm just talking a lot. Promise. I'm okay. Alrighty. So that was kind of more of like a leg warm-up. What we're gonna get into now is actually trying to work some of the movements. It's just time to bust out the ladder. Alright, y'all. So there's a ladder. Let me start by saying, if you're watching this and trying to take notes and replicate what I'm doing, and you don't have a football or soccer, maybe basketball background, and I'm sure there are a few sports I'm missing, don't buy a ladder just for this. You can definitely get the same stimulus without a ladder. Just put clothes down and try to replicate the movements. I'll show you in a second. And if you are gonna buy a ladder, go on eBay and buy a $10 ladder that was used twice by the guy who also saw a video with a fucking speed ladder and then realized that they were miserable and they had no reason to train them. So be smart. Just for my reference, I'll show you, like, we're probably gonna try to actually like add a tiny little sprint, not much, just like a 5 little yarder, just to get a little burst in. And again, we're not really going 100% here, right? We're just telling my body, okay, wake the fuck up, and let's work a little bit today, right? And all these sprints, like, it's like when I say like get a little work in, it's not like a deadlift work where you're gonna be sore for a couple days and whatnot. The nice thing about this is that you actually work a lot of those type 2X muscles and 2A muscles that you get in lifting, along with a lot of work on your energy systems that support your type 1s. So you're getting a lot of that explosive work in your legs for just really cheap, right? You get a little bit of wear and tear, but it's not the same as a mechanical load that you'd get under like a really heavy deadlift. I'm not saying don't do deadlifts. There's that's strength, right? But you definitely round out your legs a lot. and it'll just doing this kind of stuff will help with recovery a ton in the gym though. All right, so let's get going. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is like vertical, so we're gonna just go 2 feet in each one foot in each one, and then we're gonna probably go sideways 2 feet again, and then we'll probably. And here, what we're looking for isn't necessarily speed through the ladder. Eventually, that is the goal. But first is just like making sure that everything's firing right. So you want your arms to pump with your legs, and then it's probably good first advice. And then if you're just starting, probably don't let your heel touch. You just want to gather. You want to be on the ground as low as possible. So it can be like if you're going really slow, like the first rep, it can be like this, right? And then you turn it up a little bit. Knees are still coming up. You're still barely take off. So it's a general vibe, and yeah, hold on. That's the general vibe. We'll lock in, and yeah, if you have questions, drop them below. I do not neglect the sides. This is where you're gonna work a lot, man. Your abductors do not work a lot in the gym, most likely. I slowed down the adductor opening your hip and then transitioning force into the first step of a sprint, just so you get an idea of kind of like why this is helpful for your legs. You actually do that in the gym, right? This one will take notes from me, but if you want to, it's pretty fun to do it this way. What I got left? We'll do this, and then we'll get into counts, just because I gotta get to work. So the whole idea here is you're gonna feel it in the little fucking leg that's working. Just try to keep it plyometric as possible. Just try to still like pop, not 100%, but close. Feel athletic, right? You're gonna hit each layer. You're gonna hit all 3 levels, so inside or left side, middle, outside of the box. And you're gonna jump up. So you're gonna go up into the level, left, middle, right, up, right, middle, left, up, left, middle, right, right. And then you're just gonna keep going. And you're gonna try to minimize the time on the ground. Take off. All right, so that's the ladder. Essentially, you're pretty much just, it's a good way to build plyometric explosiveness, just like ability to drive through the balls of your feet without touching the ground for long. So sprinting essentially, and jumping and all that kind of stuff. You're also kind of hitting your endurance a little bit. Depends how you do this, but you know, if you cut down the rest time, if you just walk back or jog back, that'll definitely destroy your aerobic system. Even if you treat it as a hit movement where you're just really explosive while you're in the ladder, walk back and make it explosive again, you can do it that way. But so it'll touch your conditioning, it'll touch your plyometrics. In general, I think it'll just touch your coordination a little bit. You just gotta pump the arms and the legs at the same time. Some people don't. So, you know, it kind of fucks up your coordination a little bit sometimes. Like you're not actually firing the right arm and leg at the right time, but you get better at doing the ladder at least. So you should get better at moving regardless. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to cones. We're gonna get cleats on a little early today just because the ground is really cold. I can't really feel my toes, so there's not much point in working on change of direction without my toes being functional. So yeah. Tell me that ain't beautiful, man. Like, trust me, bro. That 45 minutes that you're spending in bed on TikTok, it's worth it sometimes. I was spending it on TikTok for on and off a couple months, past couple years. I've fallen for it. But my plea to y'all is that I promise you there's a lot of cool shit out there. Even if you live, or maybe you don't have this exact field, there are opportunities. And if the mornings feel like a burden, like you can't get up and whatnot, oh man, let me tell you something. If you can learn to love this, if you can learn to love this, whether it's because the sun is rising or because there's nobody at the fucking field or it's cool, you're not sweating yet. Okay, that's offset. It's not centered. But if you can learn to love the mornings, man, I would recommend you do it. I lost love for the mornings for a little while. And this is not the video I should be talking about this stuff in, but a good example, if you just need an anecdote of why you should get out here today as opposed to maybe the gym hasn't been working, is that sometimes it's not like you're not a morning person or you don't want to get that work in. It's just maybe the environment doesn't work at that time, right? Or that space. So like maybe you won't be doing a lot of sprints wherever you live right now, and maybe it could be swimming or fucking tennis. I don't know exactly what it could be, right? But just keep in mind that because you tried going to the gym at 5 a.m. for, January, doesn't mean that you're not ready to work out at 5 a.m. Maybe you like it. It's just try a few different things, and hopefully this channel will kind of help you see a little bit of that. But also, more than anything, it's more about there's no right thing to do. It's just be smart with what you got. Do more with less. I mean, that's the general message always. All right, goal here is we're not sprinting between these cones, although eventually that's kind of the goal. We're gonna go max about 80% sprint, but the idea here is to take 3 gather steps or 2, depending on how much I can get by with. So in between traveling through the cones, I'm gonna be pretty high. The goal is to very visibly change the depth at which I'm at so that I can stop my momentum and on a dime turn. So it's gonna be 1 gather step if I'm taking 3, 2 gather step, nope, hold on, that's 2 gather steps. So the gather steps for me go inside foot, that's gonna turn first. Second one to actually gather really hard, turn the hips, step out. So that's the idea. If we can't get it in 2, what that'll mean is you start the gather on the outside step, and then in one smooth motion, you turn the inside foot. Probably not gonna do that right off rip because I like my knees and my ankles. I might get there by the end of the workout. But this is the kind of thing that you build over a lot of time. I just have a lot of history training this, but I'm kind of out of shape on it, so gotta be humble and just take it easy. So really light intensity, and we're just working the motion, right? I just want to make sure that my left and my right are really good at catching that weight as I drop down from a standing position and a full sprint. They can catch all that momentum and turn it around. That's all I'm doing. And I'll keep the mic in just so you understand that it's still going to be pretty intense. It's just not going to be super, super explosive. So it's going to be here. We're going to slow it down. So if we're having a hard time like really getting the motion, it's fine. Just slow it down. You're gonna look like a fucking clown, but I'm showing you guys so that you get an idea. Slow, 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 slow. Boom, boom, boom. Slow, slow, slow. Boom. Slow, slow, slow. Boom, boom. Slow, slow, slow. Slow, slow, slow. Okay, that's better. I think the cones might be a little too tight for this exercise, but we're gonna try it again. It's gonna take it, like the steps aren't gonna resolve themselves. We're just gonna get really explosive or intense about actually turning. So whatever I decide to gather with, just turn it into a turn. So that's 2. That's not great. Hold on. I'm gonna spread these out a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going kind of slow. I don't know. Thumbs up. We'll make it harder in a second. The nice thing is, you're not training for today. You're training for fucking ever. So just trust yourself. That was way better. It took till the 3rd cone for me to figure out the motion I was looking for. And let me tell you, my feet are cold as shit, so that hurts. But I started gathering, so you'll see. I think you'll see. We'll see on the film. High, 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 high. Oh god. High, high, high. Go. It's definitely getting better. This time, pay attention to the height decrease. Hopefully, I'm actually opening up this right adductor a lot to transition that speed, that momentum pretty quickly. So high to low, and then really good feet. That's all I'm looking for. High, high, high. Low. Perfect. I'll take that all day. I gotta rewatch it, but and the reason I'm not worried about the speed too much is, first off, doing that fast is gonna fucking put so much stress on your legs that unless you're in shape, don't do it. It's just an injury waiting to happen, especially if you're old like me. Don't do it. And then more than anything though, like wide receivers are fast, right? Soccer players are fast, but it's not their speed. It's not their straight line speed that's gonna get them anywhere. It's not that. I mean, sometimes it creates separation, but if you want to be consistent and you want to be long-lasting wide receiver and not rely on your speed, or be ready to play the DB that's actually as fast as you, you work on the feet. I mean, you work on the feet a lot, because the feet are what saves you. So that's all we're working on today. And again, remember, like, this is true recovery, like getting back into the swing of things. So this is what being humble looks like too. Hopefully they look decent though. All right, let's get it. That was a way better rep, or it was an okay rep, but we're working in on the, we're zooming in on the details, right? So all of that, just because I didn't put my mic up, is I got here, I don't want to reach. All I want to do is take the next step, and if I got to gather here, that's fine. Just go straight around, right? Or if you need to take an extra gather step and it turns into a five step gather, just sell it with your head. I mean, there's a lot you can do, but in general, what I'm saying is, just don't reach, right? When you're practicing, if you're taking this as a wide receiver drill, do not reach, because you're giving away what you're doing. Everything needs to look the same. So it's gotta be. See how that turns? I will take. Honestly, I want to run a few routes and call it. I think I just wanted to get loose today, get out to the field, get my blood pumping, see if I can pump a little dopamine that isn't just from smoking a joint first thing in the morning. And honestly, we're succeeding. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Just because I don't have anything else really planned, and honestly, I'm mostly fucking around. Today we're just gonna run the route tree real quick. We're gonna run every route, both ways, and we'll say walk back with maybe like 5 seconds rest. But all we're doing is working on our craft a little bit, and maybe documenting some of it so that I can keep track of how I'm progressing as a wide receiver. We're gonna call this our goal line. And route tree is a little bit difficult to define at times, so you're gonna have to trust me on this, but we'll give a 3-yarder just so people get an idea of where we're trying to go. Alright, so that's about 3 to 5. So that'll be slants, flats, outs, stuff like that. So when I'm training alone as a wide receiver, which I've done a lot, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, I enjoy it. But a trick that I like to do with myself is just kind of think about what coverage I'm looking at. So is a DB going to be on the line? Am I playing against a linebacker? Is a DB faster than me? So I try to kind of put myself in a game situation so that it makes sense. Usually I'll just change it from route to route. That's not. But what this can look like is if I need 3 seconds, is and that is only if you need 3 seconds. Do not do this in high school football without your coach telling you explicitly you can do that, or until show them that it's a good idea. But do not do that if you're gonna get jammed and killed at the line. If somebody's at the line, do not ever do that. I'm not giving a course, so I'm done with this. And let's pretend like, since this is our weak foot, we're gonna start with our right up. We're gonna pretend like our quarterback's on the right side. So that was our shallow out. We're gonna run a shallow in. And this time, let's pretend the linebacker's on us just because it's more fun. 2 or 3 yard sit routes, even though slants probably come before them. Can do that better. So if you notice, I didn't actually turn my hip there. So let's do it. I don't even need to turn my hip, but hold on, let's try one more time. How did I get there? So we're gonna see my quarterback's inside? Okay. I'm running at full speed, can you tell? Alright, let's try again. I don't know why I'd ever run that route though. I would never run it like that. Let's run how I'd run. Makes no sense. Okay. I'm gonna sit route inside because I don't understand why I'd ever do a 3 yard sit outside. Except for a screen. And that's what I do. Okay, goal line situations are handled. All right, slant. Let's see what the stem looks like. Yeah. Not great, we can do way better than that. All right, we said the DB's off, right? Okay. So if he's off, I don't even gotta sell the slant. I don't even gotta sell that stem that much. And I was thinking 5-step drop right there. And then let's say I just want a speed slant. And the DB's up, I'm just beating him with speed, right? And now let's do one where he's 5 yards off. I just want to have him open his hips to the outside before I cut in. Let's just see how that feels. I don't think it's going to be particularly good today, but we'll see what it looks like, what it feels like. All right, so the whole idea here is you got to make them believe that you're about to take off on the outside, right? Whether it's a slant, or an out and up, go, whatever the fuck. So here's what it would look like, I think, for me right now. That's assuming their hands aren't on me, right? That was me saying you're about to be 5-ish yards off, right? Which means that all I'm doing is, that's where I'm gonna break it, but he's right here. So I'm gonna kind of give him like I want him to be here when I'm about to like sell out. So he's right here. And then if I cut fast enough, he might be able to undercut it. In retrospect, I probably wouldn't have wanted to bring it just a little bit higher. So I really broke his cushion. But you know, you gotta make do with what you can. So what you got? So we don't have a real DB. We don't know what they would have done, but that was generally good work. Okay, we're gonna move this up just a little bit. Move this up to 10 yards. Oh, we already got it. Move it up to 10 yards, and we're gonna try to get a couple ins, a couple outs, and then a few posts. Maybe a couple comebacks. We'll be good. But I want to work the ins and the outs because 90 degrees is a hell of a lot easier to cut than fucking whatever that is, 270, 280-ish degrees, depending on which side you're going to. So it's a big cut. So let's see what this 90 feels like. I'm not gonna go 100, but pretty damn close. Okay, that was not what we practiced, but that's okay. It'll look ugly, but we're just gonna practice the actual movements that we want here. So, bump, steps. That's pretty quick. Okay, so we're gonna do 5-yard ins, just so I can get a little bit more reps on how I actually want my feet to be moved. Oh my gosh, that's fucking filthy. Oh my gosh, that's filthy as shit. Okay, now let's see if I can gather on 2, especially for a 5-yard. Hey, I don't know what that looked like on camera, but fuck, that felt pretty good. All right, I'm gonna run an actual route right now. Like, I want to break this DB on an in route. He's playing man, but I'd say he's not bumping super hard. Sorry, it's hard to beat a bump that doesn't exist. DB was lighting up inside, I would have just run straight into him the whole time. Let's do that again. The release inside isn't bad, it's just you can't run inside. You're just gonna run into him. So I'm gonna release outside. I like that. And now let's say he's off and I can just speed out him. Well, kind of speed out him. There's 5 to 6 yards, so let's say he's like at 10. What I'd probably do here. So I don't ever want to put that force on my heel. Well, can, but definitely not here, right? Okay, let's just break the other side once. I do gotta go. Well, I don't know. Let's see. All right, let's go to the other side. So my left doesn't like that very much. I'll try it again. So we're gonna try a 3-step gather, even though I think I can get away with it too. Pretty good. floor. Much better. I mean, shit, I was fucking walking. Let's see what this looks like. I think this is gonna look pretty good though. Alright. And now we get into the long ones that are a little bit more fun and just a little bit more cardio. We're just gonna do 2 posts, maybe 3, so I can get a skinny and a shallow. But other than that, we're chilling. Alright. So this post is just gonna be for fun. I'm not actually beating a PB. I'm just gonna duck around. Get some strides opened up. See how it feels to run. It's been a while. Cutting out, cutting in, cutting up. So that one was like, he's off. He already turned his hips. I don't have to do much. All right. So this one's gonna be a little bit different. Let's say this DB's pretty good. He's fairly patient, so I actually have to break him. I wasn't bad. Like I started the move kind of at the right time. Like that's where I'd want to start it, to challenge him a lot, make him force, but not quite. This looks bad. Here's my favorite move though. On a slant, on a post, let's pretend that I'm running a corner. But you're gonna fake shallow and go skinny. I swear, dude, it works. Like 90% of the time, it works. You get up on that safety and you say you're about to go shallow, or like make it look like a dig, they're gonna fucking bite. They want that pick. But then you cut it skinny. Oh my gosh, it's the tutty almost every single fucking time. So watch. See how long this workout was? This workout has been recording for 50 minutes, which means that I got here about 50 minutes ago. And it took me about 10 minutes to get to the field. And it took me about, 20-ish minutes to get up. Cortisoled up, so just keep in mind that I was definitely a little bit more wired than you are, but motivated. And that's something powerful that you can develop for at least a short term. It'll help you get up. But if you can get up motivated one morning and just show your body that however long it takes you to find the closest field that's safe. Because remember, the mornings feel safe, but you want to be careful. It's a quiet time, so if you're in a city, just keep that in mind. Try to find a field that's close, convenient, but also decently safe, decently well lit, or there's help available. But find those off hours, at least in my opinion, if you're like me and you don't like a whole lot of crowds and just busy gyms and shit. You don't like lifting in the morning, you don't have to run, bro. Just start training for the NFL Combine, for fucks. If anything, you'll learn something for your kids to learn down the line or whatnot. But this will make you better at tennis. This will make you better pretty much at everything. It'll allow you to pick up sports like soccer in like no time. And it'll keep you probably in better shape than your. I don't want to say it's going to keep you in better shape than your runs are right now, but I will say that I think that the level of effort that it'll require is comparable, but the level of fun that you'll have and the level of actual muscle development, engagement, and how your body will grow will be a lot more stimulating. We'll just say stimulating. And then I think that because it's so much more stimulating, it's a lot easier to keep up. If you love running, keep running trail runs, right? But I'm just talking about the folks that hate cardio and gotta get on a fucking treadmill. Bro, if you were an athlete, just train like a fucking athlete. You know what this is. And it's not like you gotta die and fucking condition yourself to death like you did in track in high school. I would recommend you find a little bit of that, because that's how you keep yourself actually healthy and fit. But this is on your time, man, and it's for life. So just find something that works. And this does really work for me, which is dope. It's just the mornings are kind of what's new about this particular day. So yeah, man, it's pretty fun. I'm glad you guys came along the journey. And I'll recap the video here in a second.